You destroy what you worked hardest to build. Not when things are failing, when they are finally succeeding. The better things get, the more urgently you need to ruin them. Success triggers something in you that failure never does. When things go well, when the relationship stabilizes, when the career advances, when the project gains recognition, a part of you activates that cannot tolerate it. Not the part that doubts your worthiness, not the part that fears you do not deserve good things. The part that knows success will expose you. This video will reveal why you sabotage yourself precisely when you should be celebrating, why the unconscious treats success as a threat rather than a reward, and why the pattern will continue regardless of how much you consciously want things to work out. When people sabotage success, they tell themselves familiar stories. I have imposter syndrome. I do not believe I deserve good things. My childhood taught me I am not worthy of success. These explanations center on self-worth, on damage, on a broken internal mechanism that prevents you from accepting good outcomes. Therapy often reinforces this narrative. It suggests that healing your self-esteem will stop the pattern, that once you believe you deserve success, you will stop destroying it. But this gets the mechanism backward. You do not sabotage success because you think you are unworthy. You sabotage success because you know exactly what success will require you to sustain. Success is not just achievement, it is a permanent change in what is expected of you. Before success, you operate with low stakes. If you fail, you meet expectations. If you succeed, you exceed them. The pressure is minimal because no one is watching closely. Success changes this completely. Now people are watching. Now they expect consistency. Now your next performance will be measured against this one. Now failure is no longer neutral. It is a fall from a height. The unconscious registers this immediately. Success means sustained visibility, ongoing accountability, the permanent possibility of public failure, and it calculates whether you can handle that. Here is what happens in the moments before you sabotage. Things are going well. The relationship is deepening. The promotion is confirmed. The creative work is gaining attention. You should feel relief, satisfaction, the reward for effort invested. Instead, you feel a tightening, a sense of walls closing in, a vague but growing dread. This is not fear of success. This is fear of what success has already set in motion. You are now visible. People have expectations. Your flaws, which were invisible in obscurity, will become apparent under scrutiny. The version of yourself you have been projecting will have to be sustained indefinitely. And the unconscious knows you cannot do it. Not because you lack ability, but because the sustained version of yourself that success requires does not match the actual version that exists in private. Success means the gap between your public performance and your private reality will eventually be exposed, and exposure is the threat the unconscious cannot tolerate. So it sabotages before exposure happens. You pick the fight that destroys the relationship before intimacy reveals your flaws. You underperform just enough to avoid the promotion that would put you under permanent observation. You abandon the project before success creates expectations you cannot meet. This looks like self-destruction from the outside, and it is, but from the unconscious perspective, it is self-protection. Better to destroy it yourself on your terms than to have it collapse later under scrutiny you cannot control. Better to sabotage now than to be exposed as inadequate after people have invested belief in your competence. The sabotage is not irrational, it is strategic. It returns you to obscurity where expectations are low and failure is not measured against previous success. It removes you from visibility before the inevitable moment when you cannot maintain the performance. There is another layer here that makes the pattern particularly difficult to escape. Failure is familiar territory. You know how to navigate it. You know what to expect from yourself and from others when things fall apart. Success is unknown. You do not know what version of yourself you become under sustained success. You do not know what new problems will emerge. You do not know if you can maintain it. The unconscious prefers the known hell. It chooses the pain you understand over the terror of unknown expectations. It selects self-destruction over the sustained effort that success demands. This is why the sabotage often feels like relief. In the immediate aftermath, beneath the conscious disappointment and self-criticism, there is a sense of the pressure releasing. You are back in familiar territory. No one is watching anymore. No one expects anything. You can stop performing. That relief is the tell. It reveals what the sabotage was actually protecting you from. Notice when the sabotage occurs, not randomly, at a specific threshold. Just before the relationship becomes permanent, just before the promotion is finalized, just before the project reaches completion. Close enough that success seems inevitable, close enough that the stakes are real. This is not coincidence. This is the unconscious calculating the point of maximum danger. If you sabotage too early, before success is real, you can tell yourself you never really tried. If you sabotage too late, after success is established, the fall is public and the damage is worse. The sweet spot is right before success solidifies, when you can destroy it with minimal witnesses and maximum plausible deniability. The timing was wrong. Something came up. It just didn't feel right. These explanations mask the unconscious precision. The sabotage happens exactly when it needs to, in order to protect you from sustained visibility. Sabotage also protects something the conscious mind values deeply: your identity as someone with potential. As long as you sabotage before full success, you can maintain the belief that you could have succeeded if you had really tried, that you have untapped abilities, that you are more capable than your results suggest. Success destroys this identity. It provides data about your actual limits, about what you can sustain under pressure, about whether you are as talented as you believe. And if the answer is no, if success reveals that you are ordinary, that your abilities are finite, that you cannot maintain the performance, then the cherished identity dies. Sabotage keeps it alive. It keeps the fantasy of unlimited potential intact. You never have to discover your actual ceiling because you never reach it. Look at your pattern of sabotage with this framework, not as evidence of unworthiness, but as evidence of threat assessment. What would sustained success expose about you? What performance would you have to maintain indefinitely? What version of yourself would have to become permanent rather than occasional? The sabotage is not attacking you. It is protecting you from a future you cannot handle, from visibility you cannot tolerate, from expectations you cannot meet, from the sustained effort that success demands. You are not broken, you are not damaged, you are not suffering from low self-worth. You are calculating risk, and you have determined that exposure is more dangerous than sabotage. You sabotage yourself when things go well because success is not a reward, it is a threat. It means sustained visibility, ongoing expectations, the permanent possibility that people will discover the gap between who you appear to be and who you actually are. The unconscious performs a cost-benefit analysis, and every time it decides that self-destruction is safer than exposure. Not because you hate yourself, not because you lack self-worth, but because you know what success will demand, and you have determined you cannot provide it. The sabotage will continue, not despite your efforts to stop it, but because of them. Because every attempt to force yourself into sustained success confirms what the unconscious already knows, that the version of you capable of maintaining that success does not exist, and rather than let the world discover that through public failure, the unconscious destroys it privately first. This is not dysfunction. This is strategy, and it is working exactly as designed. The question is not why you sabotage yourself. The question is whether you are ready to acknowledge what the sabotage is protecting you from, knowing about your own limits.